Hey everyone, it's your host Cyber Gaming Studios and welcome back to another video. In this video is completely different because this is the first time I've ever done this on my channel, and I wanted to start off the year with a little bang, and hopefully you guys can understand what's really going on. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 and Note 10 Plus has officially received the stable version of Android 10, and I'm glad to share it with you guys because I've actually been playing with this update for quite a few hours now, and I'm ready to tell you guys what is new. Just remember, I might not get everything that was included in this update, and some I may understand that it may have been in the previous update. Just to clarify that, so no one gets confused if I make an error. If I do make an error, I wanted just to put that out there just in case. So Android 10 has released early January. It released January 2nd, probably way earlier than I expected because there were rumors that Android 10 wasn't going to come out for the Note 10 and Note 10 Plus until late January 2020. Unfortunately, those rumors were wrong because it came earlier than that. So in this video, we're going to show you all the features in just all one video of what was included in this update. So if you have a Note 10 or Note 10 Plus and you have not experienced these at all, then you should. So let's get started. So when you first boot, you're going to boot it into your home screen, and you may not look different. It may look somewhat new or different, but there is a lot of changes. So the first change, if you go down and bring down your quick settings bar, and bring down all the way down to the navigations to your quick tiles, you're going to notice a big difference. The quick tiles are not bigger as before. As you can see, they're a little bit more smaller, and they look way more better than on Android 9. The second thing is, I wanted to show you guys something really cool, is that if you go down and move all the way to the second page of your quick tiles, you're going to see a new mode that shows up, two new modes called dark mode and focus mode. If you don't know what dark mode is, it's basically what you see on notifications, where it turns everything into dark mode. And focus, what this does is basically takes focus mode. If you click work time or me time, what will happen is that all downloadable apps, including most system apps, will be disabled. You won't be able to open them, you won't be able to access them, and it basically separates you from the digital world, and so you can focus either on work or basically your personal time, so you're not really distracted by your phone, and you can focus more on your family and friends, etc., etc. That's basically it. It's mostly to focus on other things than just your phone, which is a cool thing. I personally not gonna ever use it, but some people will. Yeah. The next following change is dark mode. If you guys realize that you can enable dark mode by going into display settings and display, and there's a new option called dark mode. If you turn this off, it goes back to light mode automatically, and it's pretty cool. If you go to dark mode, everything like you see here turns to dark mode, including your apps, etc., that supports dark mode. It's really cool, and I really, really like it. I think there's other things that I do like about this update, but the next update change is, if you go down to where screensaver used to be, it changed it to where show charging information. I'm not 100% sure if this was in the last update, but if not, then here it is. If you go out of display and you'll go down to settings, you'll notice that wallpapers and themes is no longer here. They actually separated both of them into wallpapers and themes. If you go to wallpapers, you can see that you can separately change your wallpaper without having to go to the Samsung theme app to be able to change your wallpaper. It's pretty neat. If you want to just get themes and change other things, you can definitely do that. But just remember, you won't be able to change your wallpapers directly from there. You would have to do it directly from the wallpaper setting. If you apply a theme, you can apply a theme in the wallpaper or within the themes application, which is pretty nice. The second thing that I've noticed on my Galaxy Note 10 Plus is a new setting called privacy. As before, you had, in order to access, there was a privacy settings in Android 9, which is Android Pie, but you could only be able to access it if you went into apps, and that's basically how you did it. Now you don't have to do that with Android 10. You can just go to privacy and you can change everything from, say, diagnostic data, accessibility, special permissions. You can manage your permissions. Whenever you go to permission manager, it's going to view every single permission, and you can see how many apps have access to that specific permission, and you can change them accordingly to your preferences. You have Advanced, which contains autofill search from Google location history, activity controls, ads, usage, and diagnostics, and you can see all that information within that setting. The next change that I have personally noticed is that if you go into advanced features, you'll notice that before there was an option right here on here that says navigation bar. They actually removed that option, and instead they changed it all the way down to looking for something else. If you click this, you'll see that you can go to navigation bar, which it's kind of stupid, but hey, it's better than nothing. And now you have two different options: navigation buttons, which I have currently on now, or the full gestures, which was somewhat introduced in Android Pie, but wasn't fully fledged until Android 10. And what this will do is basically allow you to use your side screen as your back bar and your bottom screen of your screen as your home screen and your recent screen. It does tell you how to do it, so you can be able to, understand how to get into recents. It took me a bit to understand how it worked, but it can be very frustrating, especially if you're not used to it. So I'm pretty much going to stick with the gesture for now, unless I'm going to play a game, and then I'll switch back to that. It's useful for a lot of things. But yeah, that's pretty much a lot of what's happened around here. They also changed always online display, I guess, and other things, so you don't can see a lot of information there. So the next change that I've noticed is device care. If you go to device care, you'll know that it has a huge overhaul. It'll tell you a lot of information about your device, including like if it needs cleaning or not. You can see your battery, your storage, you can see your memory, and you can also optimize it all at once, which is pretty nice. I really like it. And I haven't really messed with a lot of this. I think this one's for you. It tells you a lot of the information that you need to know. The next thing I've actually hugely noticed is that in tips, you will see now new tips about your device, such as I don't have Wi-Fi on, just simply, and or internet on, because I don't want my notifications just to show up, and then if something's sensitive, I don't want that to come out. So if you get what I'm meaning. So the next option, if you go to developer options, that you may or may not even see, is if you go to developer options, you'll see two new options under the main category. These two ones are target trust agents only extend lock unlock. This means that trust agents will be able to keep your phone unlocked for longer, but it won't unlock your phone if it's locked. The second one is lock screen when trust is lost. Automatically locks the screen when the last trust agent loses trust. So whatever, like say for example, you leave the area and it lost wherever you were, it's gonna keep your screen, automatically lock your screen. So this way you don't have to worry if something did happen, etc., etc. If you keep going all the way down, you'll notice that there are kind of new things that are happening here. So if you go down to networking, they actually added a new option called Wi-Fi scan throttling. What this does is basically it works similar to where Wi-Fi scan. So it's like if you have a rooted device and you put the line in the Wi-Fi scan, you change it to a point where it's going to use less battery but still scan at the same time, but use less scans to save battery. This works the same way, and it will basically do less scans to be able to save your battery, but keep that and improve your performance. Wi-Fi safe mode is not as old as was before, but now that is added makes it a little bit better, so I don't need to keep Wi-Fi safe mode on. It's not a new feature. It was in the previous version. I just wanted to point that out. Um, the next changes that they actually added is turn off AVC blacklist, and you can this one was already here last version, but I do know AVC blacklist was not in the last version. I hopefully, and I don't know what actually that one does, to be honest, if that makes any sense. But as we go, when you go down, you're gonna see another cool update to this setting. Is called a new option called forced dark mode. This is a developer option for those people who really want to applications that don't support dark mode. You can actually enable this, and it'll basically force that app to use dark mode. And I guess what it does is basically just uses the text from the images or whatever from system, and then applies it to the app like a temporary theming, if you will, if you want to call it that way. But it just makes it the app dark mode if that's not very clear. The next one is called category games. This has its own category. It's pretty much actually really OP. I really like it. I don't know its exact purpose, but I've seen a lot of huge performance bump when I played Call of Duty, and I think this is for like if you want to boost within a specific game. I don't know if you guys can do this, if you guys can select multiple at once. I have no idea, but as of right now, I can only see with Call of Duty, you can change your rendering API, either Vulkan, OpenGL, and you can change the widgets, which I don't understand this point. I have no idea because I've never seen it around there. So this widget setting may be broken. The next setting they actually added is, if you go down more, you are going to see adaptive notification priority. What this basically does is that instead of it automatically sets lower priority notifications to gentle. So it just, I guess what it basically does is just it takes a lower priority and then makes it to gentle, so it's not very annoying, less annoying. The next option is called Forced Desktop Mode. Forced Experimental Desktop Mode on secondary display. I haven't tested this yet, but I'm gonna test this here. I haven't figured it out yet. Yeah. So the next one is the next ones are called Restrict SMS and Call Log Access. Only allow the phone and messages apps to access call and message history. I don't know specifically what that means, but I think it's useful. Notification bubbles show some notifications as bubbles. This is something that Google was experimenting with Android 10, and I think that I don't know how it works, but hopefully you guys can tell me how it works because I have no idea how it works. The last two categories is called autofill. This is for logging purposes mostly. You don't really have to mess with this. This is if you're a developer and you want to log a lot of stuff, then this is pretty much what's going to help you. The last final one in developer options is called theming. Unfortunately, accent color does not work. I've tried switching to a different accent, but unfortunately it doesn't work. Headline and body font it alters the fonts, which is kind of weird because the headlines of everything, not the the sub words, but the headlines, like its accent color or headline, it would change the font. That actually works. Icon shape does work. I don't see it as any purpose because they don't have circle on here, so I don't know if that makes any difference. Yeah, it's weird, very weird. Let's see what else they did. If you go as well into biometrics and security, you'll see that there's a new option called Google Play System Update. If you select this, you can be able to download updates from Google Play directly. I don't know how this will work on One UI, but hey, it's better than nothing. If you go down, I think there's more. I don't know if there's anything new here, but probably not. I am still learning on the phone, so I'm still learning an update as we go. So if you go to the connections, you can actually change your settings for your Wi-Fi, and you can go to advanced. You can change a lot of cool settings. There's a Wi-Fi power saving mode, which is you saw in developers options, and etc. etc. There really isn't nothing here that they claimed, but it's pretty neat. The next change is if you go head over to an app, you'll notice that instead of it being big and bulky, they make it more edges are more rounder. They made it much more cleaner, and it looks really amazing. Unfortunately, there are some downsides to this update that I do not personally like. As an update, since not every application on Google Play Store supports Android 10 yet, there are going to be some problems, such as, for example, Gboard. It may not 100% sure if it does support Android 10, because before on Android 9, I was able to hide the keyboard from within the app setting. On Android 10, you're unable to do that, so you have the Gboard setting shown. However, there is a fix for this, which you can go and click home screen settings, you can click hide apps, and you can hide the app, and it won't disable the app, it will just hide it from seeing, you can see it from seeing it from the home screen, which is the best way to do it, and I really like it. I just prefer having it do it automatically, if that makes any sense. But that's pretty much what I have seen. I've seen so far. I also did notice that if you go into an application, the animations were improved, so they look a little bit better, and they run a little bit better, way better than they used to be. So it gives you that kind of experience that you always really wanted. If you want to see, you can also see more information if you go into your updates. You can see all the information, which I will show you right here. You can see all the information of what comes with Android 10. And here's all the text and icons, colors, smoother animations, full gestures, etc., etc. And I've read it, but to be honest, they're really not necessary for me to talk about. But either way, if you guys did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate if you leave a like on this video and tell me what you think about the new features on your Note 10 and Note 10 Plus. If you haven't seen any of the changes that I've explained, or if I missed any, leave a comment in the section below, and hopefully I can correct that maybe in a future video if there is one. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.